Welcome to another Azure Guide video, where hands-on learning is priority one. I'm an Azure Administrator, Azure Security Engineer, as well as Azure Solutions Architect. The challenge questions differ from the sample test questions, but the challenge questions are longer and the focus on one of the CKAD 7 topics. This challenge question is on core concepts, which makes up 13% of the exam. Question 1, core concepts. Create a new pod named Speed, running the image nginx using port 80, and the pod should be in CKAD 1 namespace. Get the IP's address. Task 3, create a temporary pod that uses the busybox image and execute a wget command inside the container. The wget command should access the endpoint exposed by the nginx container. Get the log to the speed container. Add the environment variables db, blah, blah, blah. Open a shell for the nginx container and inspect the contents of the current directory. Create a YAML manifest for a pod named loop that runs the busybox image in a container. The container should run the following command and then determine what the status of the pod. Feel free to put that in namespace CKAD1 or the default namespace. Edit the pod loop. Change the command to run in an endless loop. Each echo should show the current date, and verify that with the somehow verify that. Then you're done. Delete the namespace of CKAD1. Congratulations. Okay, here we are at task number 1 of challenge question number 1. And we need to create a new pod named Speed, running the image nginx, expose it to port 80, and it should be created in the namespace CKAD. And we're going to put CKAD1. So let's go ahead and create that namespace first. Alright, so far so good. Now we'll create our pod. And we'll call it speed running image nginx 1.7.10. You want that on port equal to 80. And we're going to do a dry run equals clients and make that a YAML file. And then we'll call this q1.yaml. Now, if none of this is familiar with you, I highly suggest you watch my 16 or so CKAD sample questions. Starting with number 1, because I build all this knowledge, going from 1 through 16, and then come to these challenges. Alright, so here we go. I'll enter. It's looking pretty good. Let's just take a look at the code. Make sure there's nothing. Oh, you know what we forgot, don't you? Forgot to specify the namespace. That's okay. I'll just throw it in there manually. Name. I don't know if it's namespace or name space. But of course, we could find out by doing kubectl explain pod spec. And oh, we don't want pod spec. What am I thinking? We want metadata. metadata. And it looks like it is all one, all lowercase. So metadata name space CKAD 1. Alright, we'll do a nice little save. Clear our screen. Then we'll do a kubectl create /fq1.yaml. just let's make sure our pod was created. And it's running. Excellent. Oh, kubectl get pods namespace CKAD 1. There we go. All right, excellent. On to task number 2. Okay, we are on task number 2. Get the details of the pod, including the IP address. Lots of ways to do this, but let's try kubectl describe pod speed. Our namespace CKAD1, and then let's pipe that to here 10, then IP, and then that's one way to get it. Could also just do describe, and you can search for it right there, or get pods -o wide. We'll also give it to you. So pretty good there. So task number 2, all completes. All right, task number 3 is create a temporary pod that uses the busybox image to execute a wget command inside the container. The wget should access the endpoint exposed by the nginx container, which is that right there. So let's go. kubectl run, we'll call it temp pod, which equals busy box. We'll remove it when we're done, make it interactive, and restart equals never. And then we'll do a wget 172 dot, oh, namespace CKAD 1 wget 172.16.5.72. And there we go. Looking pretty good. Off to task number 4. Alright, task number 4. Get the logs of the nginx container. kubectl logs speed. Ah. And there they are. So pretty good there. Off to task number 5. Okay, task number 5. Add the environment variables. I'm not going to read them. And to the container of nginx pod. Alright, so we're going to add them to our YAML that we made earlier. So kubectl code q1.yaml. Oh, no kubectl. q1.yaml. Alright, and I'm going to put it right under name. I believe it's -env. No. env dash name. Let's see, if I wasn't sure, I could always use my friend explain. Pods spec containers, and you'll find environment. So you say to yourself, well, that's good, got env. And then I could add env here. And it'll show me that I need name and a value. That's not easy enough. You could just type in environment in the search. It'd bring this page up. And then here's a nice example for you here. So name value, name value. All right, so let's go back. We're going to do db underscore URL is equal to post yes equal speed db 5432 with a value of, oh, messed that up, didn't I? Can't get rid of this delete. There we go. Then I want to go name. And here we have db username, value of Trixie. All right, I think that looks pretty good. Let's clear our screen. And we'll go ahead and delete our pod. Oh, can't use Q1 because I don't think it's going to allow us to use it. Let's see what happens. We just modified it. Oh, it looks like it was okay. Now let's say create. I'm going to do a kubectl exec into speed -it namespace CKAD1 env. And there's our credentials right there. All right, excellent. Off to task 6, I suppose. All right, here we are at task number 6. And we're going to open a shell for the nginx container and inspect the contents. So kubectl exec speed interactive namespace CKAD1 bin/sh ls-l. There we go. I like that task. That was easy. On to the next one. All right, task number 7, a little more complicated than task number 6. We're going to create a YAML manifest for a pod named loop that runs the image busybox in a container. Container should run the following command and create the pod for the YAML manifest. Then determine what's the status of the pod. All right, so kubectl run pod image equals busybox. Carried away with the complete there. And dry dash run equals clients dash o YAML. Pipe that out to task 7 YAML. And I'm going to put a command in there just to get that part started. And I think that looks right. Let's see. Code task 7.yaml. All right. And here was the reason for putting that first command in, just get me started there. We'll do a /c, and then I'm going to go no space. kubectl get pods. And you see that it's crashing, but is that okay? Yeah. Well, what else was in here? Describe pod loop. Isn't that what we called it? Oh, we called it pod. That's interesting. That was a mistake. See, I called it pod. It should have been loop. But no, big deal. What have we got here? Run equals pod. We're getting successfully pulled. You see it ran a few times. It should say complete somewhere. There we go. Terminate it. Reason error. That's not why we should be getting it. It should say complete. Reason for termination because it was complete. So we got a problem somewhere in our YAML. Let's see if we can look at logs. Can't open C. Code Q, was it task 7.yaml. Does that need to be in quotes, you think? Ah, I see the problem. There we go. Save, close editor. Let's clear the screen. Let's see if we can run it like this. Might have to delete it first. Yes. This would kill you on the test when it time-wise. At least we think we found the error pretty, relatively quickly as far as finding errors go. Pod. That's crazy. Let's see. Running. Because it's still terminated. What the heck? Expecting due. Another problem. Code task 7.yaml. For I in. Alright. Find create. Find or describe commands. Back off, restart and fail container. There we go. Terminate it, but this time it terminated because it was completed. So outstanding. Alright, now task number 8 wants us to change it so that it always loops and prints a date. So let's go ahead and first delete it. And we'll go back to code. Yeah, we want to go back to the code. Should we change the name to loop? And now we're going to say while true, do date sleep, say 10, and then done. And we'll say create. It's failing. Undetermined quoted string. I think I found it. Semicolon. Delete it. Then we'll recreate it. Get pods. Oh, undetermined quoted string. There we go. Third time again. I'm going to type it this time. Get pods. All right. There we go. Now we just want to do it. Describe pod loop. And it looks pretty good there. Anything in our logs that we care to see? And there you can see our date just going on and on and on. Pretty good there. Off to the next task. All right, without knowing it, I did task 9 when I was recording task 8. Task 9, inspect the events and status of the pod loop. And task 10 is just delete the namespace. Well, kind of thing about working different namespaces is nice because when you delete the namespace, it deletes everything. So that's nice. Then we'll have to delete our pod loop. Well, I hope you enjoy this first challenge question. I planned having 2 challenge questions per topic. So this is the first one. And we'll do a kubectl. I'll just use the F command. And there we go. Well, thanks again.